How can you measure whether your implementation plan is working? Simple, using REAIM. It sounds like an evil organization bent on global destruction that James Bond would fight. Hi, I'm Matthew Chinman, and today we are going to REAIM your implementation efforts so we can tell if it's working. See what I did there? In the last millennia, in 1999, Russell Glasgow and colleagues published a paper unveiling REAIM, and since then, it's been cited almost 5,000 times. The reason for that? It's a real handy way to track overall impact. Say you have an intervention that has the potential to reduce diabetes. So the REAIM acronym would work like this. R, reach. How many people with diabetes received your intervention? A good example of this is, of all of those with diabetes, your denominator, how many got the intervention? Numerator. It's like when Oprah gave away all those cars to her audience. Of all the audience members who could have gotten a car, 100% did. You get a diabetes intervention. You get a diabetes intervention. E, effectiveness. How much improvement in diabetes was there? The main example here is to simply run a good research trial testing the outcome of your intervention. A, adoption. How many providers or care settings decided to implement this diabetes intervention? A good example would be, of all the settings or providers approached to do this intervention, how many actually did? You can think of it like pet adoption. Before, you were alone. I have no love in my life. And then, you adopted 5 pets. Oh God, what have I done? I, implementation. How well was the intervention carried out? This one often gets into something called fidelity, or the degree to which an intervention is carried out according to its specifications. One way to think about this is, if you take chocolate chips out of a chocolate chip cookie, it ain't a chocolate chip cookie. Aww. M, maintenance. How durable is the improvement at the individual level, or how long the intervention continues to be implemented? Here, you often do a check some period of time later, say 6 months or a year, to see if people are still improved when it comes to diabetes, or the diabetes intervention is still going. Some important points about REAIM. As you may have noticed, there is no one way to define each of the letters in REAIM. Each project is different, and so how you define REAIM will also differ. Also, each letter can have multiple types of definitions. For example, for I, implementation, sometimes you may want to track how many changes or adaptations are made to the intervention. Other times, you may want to track the consistency of implementation. Also, you could always use qualitative methods like interviews or focus groups to measure each letter. This link, right here, is a nice 2-page checklist from the National Cancer Institute on how to define REAIM. And also look for the link below. The bottom line is, to have true public health impact, you need to have good REAIM. Now you've been scienced, implementation scienced.